up, everyone? This is Mark from GotNormalStocks.com, and I'm going to go over the due diligence on EKNL, Eko International Corp. I've dug further into EKNL and found some very interesting information. Let's get started. GotNormalStocks.com called EKNL at 7 cents in our stock chat room. We've set a very conservative price target of $1, which can be achieved in the near future, and I'll go over why and how I derived that price target. EKNL is our long-term stock pick. It is a holding company focused on growth through acquisition. Each acquisition must have substantial growth potential and is expected to add assets and/or cash flow to the consolidated financial statements of the company. Eko International Corp is willing to examine a variety of proposed target businesses and, if interested, will negotiate terms and conditions of purchase favorable to itself. I think it is important to understand some basic vocabulary to get the most out of this video. So let's go over some quick vocab. DTCC tracks all of the electronic positions that are held in a particular stock in tradable form. It also monitors the situation on shorts. CEDE, also known as CD, all the shares in the system are collected and stored in CD. Unless you have electronically registered the shares in your name, it's similar to a ledger account for all stocks. Any transactions going through the system, they eventually end up in CD. It shows the actual number of shares available for trading. Reverse merger. A company might use a reverse merger or a reverse takeover to become a public company. The original public company, also known as a shell company or shell stock, usually has substantial value or assets other than a listing for public trading at a particular exchange. To perform a reverse merger, an already public company will issue shares to acquire a private company that has a business and actual value. For us penny stock investors, a reverse merger offers the most profitable venture. The reverse merger stocks have the volatility to explode upwards of more than 1,000%. A short squeeze. A short squeeze is a situation in which the price of a stock rises as investors who rush to buy it to cover their short position and cut their losses. As the price of the stock increases, more short sellers feel compelled to cover their positions, causing a rush in the price upwards. Alright, let's get on with the due diligence. Now, we know that there are only 153,000 shares of EKNL total in the DTC. It is a very tight float. There's no dilution whatsoever because there's no insider selling. Reverse merger play just like drop, and over 3 million shares have traded, but only 153 in the DTC. Remember, that's the actual amount of shares available for trading. How are they going to cover? Smells like naked short selling to me. Anyone requesting an EKNL stock certificate from the DTC will have a failure to deliver, causing the stock to be sold at a premium, forcing the price upwards of $1. Short squeeze. The steady increase in volume is contributing to slow and consistent gains. We can see this in the chart as well. Although there was a small slight pullback, there's only a bump in the road. Insiders are holding their shares with a firm grip. They don't want to sell, and this is evident when trying to purchase at the bid and not being able to get filled. The ask is where the money is made. It's also evident when you try to purchase the stock, you can't get filled at the bid, and if there was insider selling or dilution, the stock price would have plummeted into the sub-pennies, but that is not the case, and EKNL is still thriving. Acquisitions and a higher price per share. Any decent reverse merger play, if executed correctly, the insiders or the company's true intention is to raise the value of the stock price. The reason why they acquire private companies is that they're doing it with a share price that is much higher. With a higher stock price, this means less dilution for the purchase of the target company. If they use the stock to buy the target company, which is the case 90% of the time in pinks, the stock that they're using is further restricted for at least 6 months up to a year, according to the Regulation 144. Now let's go over the importance of acquisitions and what it has to do with EKNL. The importance of this acquisition is extremely significant. Once EKNL acquires a target company, a steady stream of revenue will be added to their books and in turn boosts shareholder value. After a successful acquisition, EKNL will be valued at a share price of upwards of $1 and will be easily obtained, if not already there, in the next coming weeks. We have seen drop do this same run after several acquisitions, so this is not out of the ordinary. Now, pertaining to EKNL, the current scenario will not help the shorts out of the current trap they caught themselves in. Current shareholders are assured that the company wants a strong stock price, just as we've seen with DEGH or drop, going up to as high as $1.25 and still acquiring assets. Drop, of course, is doing this at a much higher price, but less dilutive. EKNL appears to want to give current shareholders huge returns, and we feel this stock has two great things going for it. One, a huge short squeeze about to explode, and two, insiders whose best interest is a strong stock price, as it seems they are on a hunt to acquire companies with a strong share price. These are key ingredients for a huge win. Now think about this. What do you think is going to happen when we reach past $1? Think about institutional investors starting to lock up shares and the float. This is a secret recipe for a blast to even higher territory. We've seen it time and time again, and it's EKNL's turn. These are two good reasons why we are holding EKNL for the long run. And it is news time. Let's take a look at the news and the recent press releases, and I'm going to disseminate the information. We can find some pretty helpful and interesting information from the last 3 press releases. I am just going to go over the important segments of the press release. So EKNL released an initial company information and disclosure statement on January 13, 2012. The statement reports that the total number of common shares issued and outstanding as of December 31, 2011 was 28 million. The number of free trading shares is 10 million, and the number of shares held by CD is 153,000. The post 300-to-1 reverse split shares bear a new QSIP number, and as a result of the spinoff, the company received and canceled 218 million shares on December of 2010. On January 20th of 2012, the second of 3 so far, we have acquisition news. The intended target is a new and used equipment dealer operating globally. The target company reported the following sales. In 2009, 1.8 million. 2010, 4.7 million. And in 2011, 5.3 million. And in the first 4 months of the 2012 year, beginning October 1st, 2011, $3 million so far. On January 26, 2012, EKNL, Eko International Corp, released another joint acquisition press release. And basically in this one it says there was a draft agreement that has been reached, and acquisition is confirmed of OEBIN by Eko International Corp, and that over the next 12 months sales are expected to be in excess of $20 million. Also, something interesting that they are alluding to is a second acquisition in the works. This is evident after reading securing the distribution rights of a newly developed industrial coating. Now, OEBIN has nothing to do with industrial coatings, which leads me to believe that there is a second company which already has a European exposure, which would be an excellent addition to Eko International Corp and their current acquisition, OEBIN. We can take a look at the second press release. Now these numbers make sense. The target company was OEBIN. Not a bad acquisition so far. Now, I'd like to go over my share price valuation for EKNL and how I derive my price target of $1. So, if we look at the last press release, we can see that OEBIN expects to generate $20 million in revenue. We can give it a conservative profit estimate of 15% or $3 million. Now, the shares outstanding is 29 million, close to 30 million. So what we do is we'll take the 3 million in profit, or 15% of 20 million, and we'll divide it by 29 million shares outstanding, which gives us 10 cents per share, roughly. At 10 cents per share, that's even without the earnings multiplier. So I'm going to give it a conservative 10 earnings multiplier. Now I'll take the 10 cents per share and multiply it by the 10 earnings multiplier, which gives us $1 per share. Now this is solely calculated from the first acquisition. Can you imagine the price per share when the second acquisition is finalized? An easy price target of $2. GotOneWithStocks.com alerted EKNL at 7 cents, and at $1 per share, that's a whopping 1,300% plus. Here are some pictures of OEBIN as they're involved in commercial equipment, construction equipment, trucks, and trailers. Now, the big boys come in. This is an example of what happens after a stock hits $1. The big boys come in and they start spending big money. People thought Drop was crazy to buy at 2 cents, and now look where it's at. Same with PROT, P-R-O-T. 10 cents didn't seem to have any promise, and now the big boys came in. Institutional money, they don't play around. Just imagine what's going to happen when EKNL pushes past $1. The SEC takes naked short selling very seriously. As it states here, the SEC has zero tolerance for abusive naked short selling, and market participants will be banned from naked short selling. As we can see, EKNL has been naked short sold in the market by the market makers. And this is evident because there's only 153,000 shares in the DTC. How can there be over 3 million shares traded, but there's only 153,000 available to trade? Doesn't make sense. Sounds like a massive short squeeze is on the way. How do we plan to fight these naked short sellers? It is important that the shorts know that in the end we have the upper hand. It only takes one person with more shares than what is in the DTC to ask for a stock certificate in physical form, and your broker will realize that the shares cannot be delivered. This in turn will cause your broker to try and buy back your shares at a premium, resulting in a price movement higher. We'll be executing this strategy with over 300,000 shares, and we're refusing to sell under $1. Even more relieving news is that some of our members have scooped up a couple 100,000 shares and are in the process of pulling certificates also. Hold on tight, as EKNL still has a lot more to give. This is EKNL International's website at EkoInternational.com, and all of the company structure information can be found at OTCmarkets.com. So I'd like to just go briefly over where you can find our free stock chat room and also our free penny stock newsletter, so you can get all the updates for all the stock picks that we call. So basically you just have to go into login here, this login menu, create a new account, and then after you've created a new account, you just fill in the information here in the fields, username and password, and then log in. And then you have access to the chat room. If you scroll down to the middle of the website, you'll be able to see where you can sign up for our free penny stock newsletter. Pretty obvious where to find it. Other than that, you can find our site updates all in the right hand corner here, and also our featured stock picks, which is the most important, on the upper right hand corner of our website. Again, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and of course our YouTube video section. In addition, you may also subscribe to our RSS feed if you wish. We also have an extensive forum that shows our sub-penny stocks, small market, large cap, and also some more video and text lessons for the beginners. Again, we called EKNL at 7 cents. Not too many websites can alert a stock pick and have it sustain levels of upwards of 300% for several days. Most are one-hit wonders and pump and dumps that go pennies up and then sub-pennies down, either in the same day or the next day. We're pretty proud of our picks, and we care about our members, which is why we alert stocks that have consistent gains, allowing our members to enter and exit with several opportunities without getting dumped on. GotOneWithStocks.com is the home of EKNL, and it's going to stay that way.